said I'm moving to France because they don't give a damn about the man.
If you go,
here you could be on your lunch break and they'd be like,
"Oh my god!"
Like, you was on your lunch break. That's your time.
You here. If something happens to you while you on work, the first thing they're gonna do is drug test you. Oh, drug test. Let's make sure you're not under the influence of any type of anything.
Yeah, you got shot because you was drunk.
Right, exactly.
Somebody came and shot the place, and you was drunk or you was under the influence of marijuana or something.
Anything.
It's your fault.
Like, dang. Can y'all just pay me? Nah, hold on. Go through this rehabilitation first. Then we're going to see how well you are. Then we might pay you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. It's hard. I'm moving to France.
Just like all those people who moved to Canada when Donald Trump became president.
Wow.
What?
Must be nice.
No, I'm saying a lot of people said that, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Nobody did. Yeah. Nobody moved to Canada.
But I might all right, fine.
But they always say that. I remember people saying they was going to do it when George H.W. Bush became president. They was going to move to Canada and Australia.
They always talking that talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People always saying something.
Always.
The millennium came around. Everybody thought everything was going to go black.
Well, usually these people that say that, didn't vote. And I'm like, your lazy ass didn't even vote. I know you ain't moving.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah, that's an investment.
Oh, man. Okay, so Kevin Hart was in a pretty bad car accident.
Yes. I've been hearing swirls and swirls about his condition.
Really? What'd you
Yeah. I heard that he will never walk again. That was the most recent one that I heard.
He's walking already.
Yeah, and then that's another thing that I heard. Then after that, I immediately got on the grams and was like, well, he's out, so stop polluting my brain.
Yeah.
So it's just so much going on with him.
Yeah, first of all, it was pretty bad. For his 40th birthday, earlier this year, he bought himself a 1970 Barracuda. But I heard he had it tricked out, the engine. Mm-hmm. Like he had this really powerful engine put in it and all this stuff. He was not driving. His buddy was driving. He was in the car with two friends. They were leaving his house.
Trainer.
He was leaving his house.
And his manager.
And no one was under the influence. The driver was not under the influence.
I think they just came back from working out.
But anyway, the driver lost control of the car and they went over the embankment. And everyone was pinned except for Kevin Hart. He managed to get out the car and go back to his house to call for help. And then later on we find out that he's got actually a broken back. And so does the driver. The driver has some serious back injuries as well. And then the third person in the car actually didn't suffer any significant injuries.
Yes.
So now they're talking about this whole thing with retro cars or old cars in general, if they need to be retrofitted with cages and different safety features because old cars are not as they don't have the same safety standards that the newer cars have, and they're wondering if maybe they should put that on them or whatever. So
you cannot legislate that people be safe.
Man,
that's the seatbelt law and the car seat law.
But I think that shit's dumb too.
Yeah, I think so too.
I do understand that it has saved lives. I get that, but I do get that. I understand that. I'm not a dummy.
Perhaps it shouldn't.
I kind of feel that way too.
You're not going to wear it, regardless of if it's a crime or not.
What'd you say?
I said if people are not going to wear their seatbelts, they're not going to wear it, regardless on if it's a crime or not.
It's true, but there are a lot of people that wear seatbelts now that wouldn't have worn seatbelts before.
It's true.
I'm one of them.
Yeah,
I didn't wear a seatbelt till they made me wear a seatbelt.
True.
And I do know that it is for my good, but you ain't my mama.
Right.
You the government. I pay you. You don't pay me. You don't tell me what to do.
Yeah. And sometimes I wear, sometimes I wear. Our last car was before the irritating, we're going to irritate you to death until you put on your seatbelt. So there was no bell.
Yeah.
So I would not wear my seatbelt.
Yeah.
But now we have the car that's modern. And it yells at me every time I don't put on a seatbelt.
Yep.
So I wear a seatbelt now just because it drives me crazy not to.
That's good. You should wear your seatbelt. But I would also like to note that Kevin Hart, they were going down a portion of Mulholland Drive known as Snake Road. And this road is very windy and curvy. So, their car probably didn't have the necessary traction system and all the new fancy suspension that we have on the cars now. So that could have something to do with it. But I don't think that now we have to go back and find everybody who has a retro tricked out car and make them pay to have these things done.
Yeah, that's Kevin Hart's fault.
Actually, the trainer's fault.
Well, that's their fault.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, that's just dumb. That's not on the manufacturer. That's not on the person that sold him the car.
Right.
That's just dumb.
And this one accident is going to now legislate a whole state.
Well, it's not just one. I mean, this happened before, so that's why they're thinking. And of course, you know, with Kevin Hart being attached to it, it's getting more publicity and stuff like that. So people who were already pushing for it, they take advantage of the opportunity.
Absolutely.
It's okay. Kevin Hart was in a major car crash, and this is supporting our cause, whatever. So they're going to attach themselves to it, that kind of thing.
This happened in Illinois, and people thought I was an asshole, and they probably still do. So there was a campaign. It's for little buckets like that you use, mop buckets. Mm-hmm. Children die in those all the time, drowning in them. What? It don't take much for a little small child to fall in a bucket and drown.
Oh my God!
Because their head gets stuck in there and they can't get out or whatever the case may be. Like, I'm just talking about a small kitchen mop bucket.
Wow. So
they were trying in Illinois at one point in time to pass a law to put safety things on mop buckets. And I was so against it. I'm like, this is some bullshit.
Why you can't just dump the water out?
Or
any
kids,
kid,
watch your kids.
Right, or watch your kids.
Any kid that dies in a mop bucket, that's nature. That's an act of God.
Natural selection.
That's nature's finest right there.
Natural selection.
Yeah, that was meant to be.
In a mop bucket.
That's meant to be.
So now if you notice, if you look at the mop bucket, it'll have a little tiny sticker on it, and it'll show a little baby, and the baby is climbing on the mop bucket and have a little X on it. Don't let your baby in this bucket.
Oh man, God, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
the baby in the bucket.
Baby in the bucket.
Wow. I thought you gave babies baths in buckets. Whatever.
What?
Yeah.
Don't throw the baby out with the bath water.
All that.
Or the bucket water.
Who giving a baby a bath in a bucket?
Yeah, who do you
Don't
know?
Make me tell on people. Don't make me tell on
We need to make the next call should be to CPS.
No.
Send them over. Because you do the sink before. No, you would use a sink.
There are instances when you need
before
to give
you would use
a bath in a bucket.
No, there are not. Ever.
Yes.
No.
Depending on what the baby got into.
I suppose if you're homeless, that might be the only time that you're allowed to give your kid a bath in
a baby bucket bath.
Yeah.
Baby bucket bath.
But if you have any kind of a dwelling, because you would use the kitchen sink or the bathroom sink before you would use a bucket, which people do all the time, give their toddlers, or babies a bath in the sink.
Yeah, I've seen people give kids a bath in the sink.
But the bucket, no.
People give babies a bath in a bucket, depending on where you are and
you saw
what
this,
the baby has
and
on it.
you did not call the police.
There was no reason to call the police.
Yeah, you
it was
are
absolutely
plastic
fine.
bucket.
You're a co-conspirator.
Yeah, it was absolutely
You're an accessory
fine.
after the fact.
It wasn't like the primary means of cleaning the child.
It was like kill two birds with one stone. I need to mop this floor.
It wasn't mop water.
And bathe this baby.
It wasn't mop water. It's the same as giving a baby a bath in the sink. It is if you took the sink outside.
No, it's not.
Just put Shalonda over in that pine saw bucket over there. That pine saw gonna get her nice and clean.
Give the baby a bath in the bird bath.
Y'all sound like the people who let the babies climb in the bucket and
drown.
drown.
In the fountain.
Y'all sound like the drowning baby people.
The babies can drown, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm just
Don't
saying.
cross past no laws. That's all I'm saying.
If your baby ends up drowning in the bucket,
you wasn't meant to have the baby.
Nope. That baby was meant to be here. You weren't meant to have that baby. And I hope you don't have any more.
I do like baby bucket bath. I don't know why that.
The alliteration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
sounds cool.
Baby bucket
That sounds
bath.
cute.
It don't sound cute when you really think about what it is.
Can you imagine being out in the field, farmland?
Why don't you open up a baby wash? Just buy you some buckets.
You'll be surprised.
Buy you some buckets, set it up right over there in
surprised.
Crenshaw and Coliseum.
Not right there. I'm going to have to take it. I'm going to have to take it all the way up to Santa Monica and Virgil.
Oh, you going up there? I was just
I'm
saying you
going
can
up
set it
there.
up at a Crenshaw and Obama.
No.
And put some baby bucket bath.
Y'all got the wrong idea about who giving babies baths and buckets. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't care who it is, to be honest.
Ghetto poo.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised.
Ghetto poo. You put a straw in it. Ooh, look, baby, whirlpool.
Oh, no.
Right? They fart in and you tell them it's a jacuzzi. So Felicity Huffman has finally been sentenced, if you can call it that. What a joke that was. But we called it. We called it. We knew that she was going to get a slap on her. They, not just her, they were going to get slaps on the wrist. Some people are theorizing that Lori Loughlin might get a little bit more of a, but they're not going to go too much harder on her than Felicity Huffman. But just because
more fines,
they said Felicity Huffman is,
she cooperated.
Not just that, they're saying that she acts remorseful, and Lori Loughlin is acting like she's acting like how Felicity Huffman really feels. Yeah, like how dare y'all, parade me through this charade, the charade. But yeah, 15 days. Meanwhile, Tanya McDowell, the black lady over in Connecticut who lied about her
right. She lived in Bridgeport, and she said
her daughter can go to a better school. Her child,
who was homeless, she got 5 years.
Wow,
she got 5 years.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
crazy, and not even. I mean, just a simple line item like put in a false address,
right?
And it was a relative's address. Is that correct?
Oh, yes. It was her dad's address, wasn't it?
No, I think it was her mother or something like that.
But these other people went through such fabrications. I mean, these is productions. This is stuff you do for a movie.
It's hilarious.
Pre-production.
It's like the judge knew that she was like letting her off and a slap on the wrist and was kind of trying to justify it because she said some crazy shit like the fact that she had one of the lowest bribes. Like, so she's rewarded for not spending as much money as the other people did on their bribe. So if it had been $15 million versus 15,000, she would have been more guilty. Like, what? What are you talking about right now? And then he said something else, or she, I think it was a she. She said something else about, she said something about, because a lot of the prosecutors, I give it up for the prosecutors because the prosecutors did go hard on them. The prosecutors was trying to throw the book at them. They went hard at them and was trying to make examples out of them and all this kind of stuff. And
they should have.
And the judge said something about, I don't know that I agree with the theory of basically making an example out of somebody. That's not the term that she used,
right?
But it means making an example out of somebody so that other people will. Like, that's the whole fucking justice system.
Right.
What do you mean you don't believe in it? That's what our justice system is built on.
For real.
Guilty.
Get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding?
Innocent until proven guilty.
I'm like, somebody need to put your ass on trial.
I don't get it.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
But Tanya McDonald got 5 years for trying to give her daughter a legitimate better life that she didn't have to even bribe anybody or pay for.
And Felicity Huffman, we are talking about like her kid also. It was a test. Somebody cheated.
Yeah, she paid the proctor to the person who's supposed to make sure there is no cheating. She paid that person to correct the test and
So it's multiple organizations that's been fucked with.
Oh yeah.
By what she did.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
say that?
And Tanya, like I said, put one thing that was a lie on a form.
Right.
That was a relative's address.
But see, this is what Tanya didn't have. Well, this is what the difference is. Tanya's black. Tanya's poor.
Yep.
Tanya's got a record. And Tanya was homeless, and you could argue that some of the crime that Tanya did to get her, arrested or whatever, she did because she was just trying to survive and she was poor and homeless. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's beside the point though. Yeah. One thing had nothing to do with the other.
It really didn't.
You know what I mean?
You can even argue that while she was homeless, the best place for her child to stay was with the relative, and she was there most of the time, and that's why she used the address. I mean, there's so many things.
But she had to like leave during the day, some other kind of complicated stuff or whatever, and some
You
technical.
see?
It was bullshit.
Meanwhile, Felicity Huffman outright knew every step of the way, had it planned out.